We're in an unprecedented moment. The global pandemic has killed over 110,000 people. Unemployment has reached a massive scale around the country. And uprisings in response to the murder of George Floyd and countless others have shaken the nation. The infrastructure that we want to build moving forward must understand these conditions and respond to them. The Partnership Funds is a pooled foundation focused on building independent power. Our first virtual retreat focused on the current situational analysis, which looked at what are the conditions that we on the ground are facing now. What will they be in 6 months, 1 year, and 2 years? What can we expect to happen? What do we want to happen? Our situational analysis called for us to be responsive and flexible and nimble in this moment, to understand that our struggle and our strategy should be rooted in a historical context, that our strategy should look to being proactive and building the infrastructure of the future instead of only reactive to the current moment and conditions. And that we must focus on building the future infrastructure that is rooted in our whole healing, that is focused on co-governance, and that is focused on building more accountable and just systems. The infrastructure that we need now must be able to build meaningful power for the communities closest to the pain. For us, this means more member-driven organizations, more organizations with individual memberships. It also means that organizations must be self-determined, that they must have their own sustainable funding, and that we must build the financial infrastructure to support independent political organizations to determine a strategy to increase their funding base that then belongs to their organization into perpetuity. Believe that moving Black organizing from underground to center is also critical to being able to build transformational power, and indeed necessary to build the transformational ecosystems of the future. We defined infrastructure as the functions of communication or field organizing, litigation, and advocacy communications skills. We understood that the infrastructure that was created for the past decade was that envisioned by national organizations and consultants and foundation program officers that were looking to fill the gaps in infrastructure and efficiencies. This strategy was modeled by the right, and this strategy was often led by people who already had power and resources and were leading many national organizations, many times white, male, lacking gender representation, and in particular, lacking leadership from Black communities and brown communities and indigenous communities. The infrastructure we need for the future must be able to be rooted in a people's history and an understanding of past struggle. It must be rooted in the values of building trust, and it must give organizations a deep sense of connection, a deep sense of knowing that we have each other's backs.